And it is important because if you are in a situation where you know better, or you're trying to know better, and you do foul up, your fast could be hanging between the sky and the earth. So this is important information that we need to know. It's not about trying to tear people down and say, oh, they're stupid, they don't know, or these people are dangerous. It's about getting and boiling everything back down and saying, okay, we've got our planner, we know the observatory, the Einstein Observatory, we've looked, and on the 2nd of July, we're looking for the moon. That's what we're going to do. We're hunting for it, and the next time it's either going to be on the 31st or the 1st of August, where Ramadan's going to be. It's one of those. Somewhere, somehow, we're going to find it. It's not impossible. Islam is doable, it's knowable. Sometimes the arguments that happen, that the people get into, you think that, you know what, in order to be a Muslim, I need a PhD. Forget this. I can't be a Muslim. It's too much, man. I was better off drinking and running the streets like what I was doing before. Because this Islam thing, I mean, come in the masjid, they started on where my pants are. Put them down, say your pants are too low. Put them up, say your pants are too high. I go to pray, they say, why are your hands doing so low? So I put them up, brother comes, I'm in my salah, moves my hands for him. I'm sitting in the salah, brother moves my feet, finish the salah, brother comes up, Akhi, your feet are moving, I'm just, it's too much. We have to return to a standard. That standard is by trying to take responsibility. Only 20 minutes every 29 days out of your schedule. 20 minutes. Look on the horizon. If your house is somewhere where you're blessed to see a clear horizon, look. If you can't, it's a clear sky, don't worry. The moon will eventually rise up where you'll be able to see. Give it time. 20, 30 minutes. Look for it. And start to ask the leadership that is in charge, that are the rightful leaders of this community. Start to ask, why don't all the imams from all the various masjids, yes, even the ones you don't like, why don't we gather all of them together and say, you know what, 29th of Sha'ban, we're headed out. We're going to go to the highest point in the city and we're going to look for it. Now, if you do that and no one sees the moon, and some groups then tail off and say, well, we're going to do it on this day, well, then it's clear that you're dealing with people that are not interested in the moving branch of the religion. But if you see it and some people say, well, no, we're not going with it even though we saw it. You see, there's no way to lie other than being caught out. You can't deny something that's in the sky. It's sort of a banana shape, yellowish orange, pointing in the direction of right. Hey, that appears to be the crescent moon, 46.7 west by 37.5 north. That would appear to be the crescent moon. No, can't be. Okay, we're just going to take a picture of it, blow it up when we get home on the computer. Yeah, this is definitely it. We saw it with the naked eye and we got it on camera. This is what we have to start to do. أقول قولي هذا استغفر الله لي ولكم أستغفر الله إن الله غفور رحيم يرحمني الراحمين ولا إله إلا الله. Now, I apologize. I went through a huge amount of information in a short period of time, but I wanted to show you that Islam, as I said, it can be done. It can be done easily. This issue of fasting Ramadan, the reason why there's so much fitna is because you leave a sunnah. When you leave a sunnah, it says a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that's weak in one narration, but there are other narrations that strengthen it. When you leave one sunnah, it gets raised, and put in its place is innovation. Innovation. You have to fix that situation. Okay? Is there any question over what I've covered? Any question over what I've covered? Yes?
You know the places that you look in the sky for the moon?
Yes.
How do you know where it's going to appear?
Okay. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. That's going to occur until the final end of time where it rises from the west. Okay? Right now it's setting in the west. Once it sets in the west, the crescent moon is going to appear in the western portion of the sky above that horizon. At the point when the sun first goes down, the reflection of the rays of the sun will be so bright you won't be able to see the hilal at first. That's why you have to give it some time after for the hilal to be able to be present. You will be able to see the hilal. It may be faint, it may be very bright, but you will be able to see it if you look. I wear glasses. I have astigmatism. My eyes are spoon-shaped. They will never be normally shaped, and I've seen it consistently for 5 years. So you just have to look carefully along the sky. Don't look in the eastern portion of the sky. Don't look in the other, look at the place where the sun set. That's where it's going to appear, because the moon will be following along with the sun. Okay? Is there another question? Yes?
I've heard that the moon, the new moon, only stays in the sky for a short period of time, then disappears again.
The new moon or the crescent moon?
The crescent moon, sorry.
The crescent moon. Sometimes that will happen. Sometimes what will happen is the moon, the new moon, or the crescent moon, the hilal, it will appear, and then it will move quickly across the sky. Sometimes it could set within an hour. But someone's going to see it. And then it starts to become very full and luminous, and then it sets quickly. The brother here and I, we saw the moon for Rajab. That was his first hilal that he saw. And we thought, Alhamdulillah, we've seen it. We knew, because we didn't see it on the 29th, that was the moon of the 30th going into the 1st. So it does last for a little while, about an hour, but it can be seen, and it increases in size, and then it starts to break up a little bit. If you pay attention, you can see it very quickly. Is there another question? Yes?
Yeah, a lot of the scholars, they talk about the new moon has to be so many hours old before it could be visible to the human eye.
Yep.
And if it's not, if it's less than that, and somebody says they've seen it, and you shouldn't accept that person's witnessing of the fact, because there's no way it could be visible. So, what's the truth in that?
Okay. The truth in that is yes and no. Here's why. If somebody says, listen, there's no way you can see it now, it's impossible. We go out, we saw it, we take a picture of it. Or 10 people saw it. We definitely saw it. Took a picture of it, bring it back in. There's no way to dispute that. However, if someone says, we saw it, and it was on the 28th, which is what tends to happen in this country, they say, oh yes, we've seen it in Birmingham, the 28th. Okay, we can establish by saying, no, it's the 28th or the 27th. And that's definitely not the case. Now, some people go by the new moon births to say, okay, well, the new moon is 24, it's 13 hours old, you couldn't have seen it. No, there have been record crescent moons that have been seen. What we have to do is weigh against the evidence of that particular locale of what we've seen. I've seen record crescents. To weigh against the evidence there, when the new moon was, and did we look for the crescent? We have to weigh that evidence together. So there's truth in what they're saying, but it's not an absolute statement. And so we have to judge those things very carefully. We generally, irrespective of what anyone says, we still go out on the 29th. And if we don't see it, we get the barakah and the reward. And if we do see it, well, we've proven them wrong. Because science is man's observation of phenomena around it, which can be wrong. So either way, we're on good ground. Yeah? Is there another question? Yes.
You know, like when you first initially look in the sky and you can't really see the moon, is it fair to use a telescope or like use a camera and then look at it first and then look at the same place in the sky, or is it like better to look for the
use your naked eye sighting before you do naked eye sighting? Wash your eyes heavily and make sure they're clean. Arrive at your spot maybe 10 to 20 minutes earlier so your eyes can acclimate to the sky, because the sky is very bright. And sometimes you can think, I didn't see it, when in actuality it was there. So you have to arrive there about 20 minutes, 30 minutes early. Acclimate your eyes to the sky and just look very carefully. Look away sometimes, look back, so your eyes become conditioned to looking at the sky. When you do that, you'll be able to see it generally. You won't have any issues if it's there. There have been days where it's been cloudy, we've seen it behind a cloud, took a picture. There have been days, so you would do that first rather than the picture. Because sometimes on a picture, the whole point of it is, sumu li ru'yati. Sight it fast when you see it. Sumu li ru'yati. Right? Sight it by the eye. Then if you say, oh, I'm going to record this for evidence, then you take the pictures. Because I tend to do that, because I either have a huge amount of people with me, or a large amount of people all over the city, or I take pictures of evidence because there's so many people in this particular country who do not give accurate information. It's almost become mass transmitted that they're incorrect all the time. So you have to resort to this type of behavior when you wouldn't normally. Yes? Yes?
if we didn't see the moon here, telephone apples in Morocco, and they say we've seen it, is that the position? You obviously went through the ahadith and the sayings of the ulama and their opinions on this, and we should accept.
That's it.
Because it's in the same time zone.
That's it, same time zone. That's Imam al-Muradawi's fatwa and others. That's the position that we take. So the imams in Morocco, they have consistently had their sightings along the same sighting pattern as me and the brothers that are here and sisters that are here, and the same thing happened in London. So we've been following them. Now, alhamdulillah, they have a website for the Awqaf. It's called the Ministry of Awqaf in Morocco. It's in Arabic though. But they have up-to-date monthly sayings of saying, we saw it or we didn't saw it. We didn't see it. Because who are the ulama that are seeing it? The ulama of Qaraween. It's the ulama of the Qaraween, the oldest university in the Muslim world. They're looking for it. So they're the ones that are going to say, we saw it here. Because their job is to say, we're just looking for it here. Now, news was brought to them of what I was doing out here. And they said that it was a fard kifaya for me to do it. Which means that if I didn't do it, then sin would go on all of Nottingham. So I didn't want to be carrying that. So I said, oh, you brothers are going to carry some of the burden too. So you get some of the reward and some of the wisdom, some of the burden as well. Because we've got to do it. It's got to get done. We have to do it. So if you are looking on the news and you have it from established source, that it's been seen in Morocco, and the ulama of Morocco make an announcement, I usually go onto their site or check. You can, inshallah, check with me, or we can check on the website, the Habus website. If you go on there and the ulama say, we haven't seen it, or we have seen it, Ramadan Mubarak, and you see the dua at the bottom, alhamdulillah, that's the end of it for us. Because we're on Imam al-Muradawi's fatwa, the proofs he quoted, the evidences from the other companions, Qurayb, the others, that's what we're on. Yeah.
What's the best part to Nottingham?
What's that?
Best part
to cite. There are 3 locations in the city of Nottingham. One is Mapperley Top. That's a very good location. Because when you stand at the top of Mapperley Top near Plains Road, you just look out and the horizon is straight in front of you. Don't stand in the street, you'll get hit by a car. Stand on the sidewalk, but you'll be able to see very easily. I mean, you can see the sun, and sometimes the sun increases in size over the bushes and the trees. You just see it go down. You just pray Maghrib out there. There's parks out there. You just keep watching. So Mapperley Top is one. Another one is Cinder Hill Mound, which is this big built-up area not far from Cinder Hill Gym, and there's this open area that's just forested. It's just been deforested. I don't know what they were using it for in the past. You can see everything so clearly. You just go up there with your dates, look at the sun, you see everything clearly. We used to go up there in Ramadan, looking for the new moon, looking for the crescent. Then after the end of Ramadan, on the 29th, we're there looking, and we'd seen the moon for Eid al-Fitr, and it's amazing. The third place is in the city center on any large building that you have access to, that you know a friend that works at a particular building or whatever else. Could we use the upper deck? Because there's a lot of buildings in the city center that oversee the horizon, and you can just look, see the horizon. So it's easy to do. It's not impossible, it's very easy. Those are the 3 best places I can think of. Yes? Is there a final question? Yes.
What about the roof of Islamic Center? It's quite high now.
Question, the roof of Islamic Center. I don't know if they'd let you get up there without throwing you off. But I'd say to try to get up there, if they'd be willing to let you up there. To say, could we get up here, or could we, because obviously if they come and they see you up there without any permission, they think you're trespassing. But if you said, could we come up there and look from the roof, we just wanted to be up there for 20, 30 minutes, then it's established. As long as you can see the horizon, which is the western part of the sky where the sun goes down, then it's established. Yeah? Is there any final question? No? Okay. There's no final question. We'll close from here, but I want you to think about this from here on in. How Islam is practicable. And one thing you'll find about Islam, fiqh is practical. Fiqh encompasses your day-to-day life. Listen, if this water is discolored and it has a smell, taste, or it has this look, don't use that water. That's practical. Fiqh is about practicality. Fiqh is not just the prayer of the salah, other things. It's how you buy, how you sell, how you treat one another, how you fast, how you make hajj. It encompasses all of those things. Islam is incredibly, incredibly practical. But But when you bring in too many other elements that aren't from it, it gets watered down. So my advice, inshallah, because you can't force anyone, because people have to make their own decisions. But my advice is to look at matters and to be grounded and to be following the maraji', the fuqaha, the ulama. أقول قولي هذا استغفر الله لي ولكم واستغفر الله إن الله غفور رحيم يرحمني الراحمين ولا إله إلا الله سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك إنه غفور رحيم يرحمني الراحمين. Oh Allah, we ask that you accept from us these words today, the best of them, and leave the worst of them, and the ulama that we quoted and that we follow in their way. And oh Allah, we ask that we've seen Rajab, we ask that you let us see Sha'ban and that you hasten us on so that we benefit from Ramadan. And oh Allah, we ask that you give us a Ramadan free of tribulation and fitna among the Muslims. And oh Allah, we ask that you establish our hearts upon certainty and truth in this regard. And oh Allah, we ask that you establish us upon a righteous and sunnah Eid so that we may follow your way and the way of those before. And oh Allah, we ask that you make us among those who follow the ways of the scholars who are the inheritors of the prophets of old. And oh Allah, we ask that you protect us from the evil of our own actions and shaitan and his allies who mean harm to us. وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا ورسولنا محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم أجمعين يرحمني الراحمين سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك واشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك إنه غفور رحيم يرحمني الراحمين ولا إله إلا الله. السلام عليكم. Inshallah, we will hopefully begin next Friday our tafsir again.